Set designer creates everything that happens to the environment, the theater space that the audience is coming to, anything that's on the stage, anything that the actors touch, anything pretty much other than the actors and the clothes that they're wearing. One of the first things that Bob and Seth told me was that they wanted to go for a more of a stadium seating arrangement because the show wanted to incorporate what feels like movie theater stadium visuals. And so the very first thing that I did in the Owen was work out by building this model that's right behind me, what the rake of the audience would be. And we figured out how to connect the house level up to the second level. And I'm really pleased with how it's turned out because it creates kind of a stadium seating like people are familiar with these days, but it also makes it a very intimate space, more intimate than I've felt in the Owen because of the way it connects the two different levels together. You have a sense of being a lot closer to the actors, and then when the screen comes in and turns it into a movie theater, it really feels like you're there kind of in IMAX, which is cool. There's such a rich palette of location from Europe and then all over Mexico and the desert of Mexico and the city of Juarez, Mexico. We looked at a lot of photography, a lot of photojournalism. There's an archive of photos of Juarez, Mexico that has about 17,000 photographs. And that was one of my main influences, was to go through that photo collection. I think one of the tricks to doing a 5-part piece, because you're expecting the audience to commit to a long period of time, and so you want to give them something new and fresh to look at. How we're managing to go from one piece to the next, because each one has its kind of its own character, the writing itself, and so we tried to capture that also in the set design, that when the audience comes back into the theater, they're seeing something new, and that means that we have a pretty large crew working in between the acts to transform the space. And that's what's great about the Owen Theater, is that it is a flexible space and it kind of allows that sense of kind of a community up between the audience and the actors. Each time we started working on a new part of the show, that's something about the floor, which is very prominent in this particular theater. You really see it. And we incorporate projection design and lighting design are a really big part of the changing look of this piece, and it's very fluid. And so we have worked out a system where we can change the floor from being white to being black to being gray with a grid on it to being covered with desert sand. So that's one of the fun parts about it, is how much it's changing so much. The most inspiring part about 2666 for me probably are the relationships. There are very intimate, sexy relationships, but then there's also this great global travel experience that happens. In particular, the way all of these European characters end up going over to Mexico looking for something. And so there's this kind of mysterious treasure hunt quality to it. And once I started looking into the Mexican locations, that was just this endless reservoir of just very beautiful imagery, horrifying imagery to some degree, but just really rich. That's what made it different from anything else I've ever worked on. At the Goodman Theater, you know that you're going to get the highest quality. I mean, when I come in, this show has a lot of demand for a lot of wonderful furniture from around the world, and we've gotten it. It's really nice to be able to have an idea in mind and to have the support of a theater that actually wants to make it happen in the highest level of quality that it can.